My family sat at my dinner table, looked me in the eyes, and told me to sign my house over to my brother. Not a joke, completely serious. And the worst part, they acted like it was the most reasonable thing they'd ever said. Let me back up. I grew up in a house where one sentence explained everything. Derek's the firstborn. Why did he get the bigger bedroom? Firstborn. Why did my parents buy him a truck while I worked through college? Firstborn. Why did I clean up after every family gathering while he watched football with my dad? Same answer, every single time. Derek wasn't a monster, just spoiled enough to believe life would always hand him things. I learned early, nobody was coming to help me, so I moved out at 23. Waitressed at night, office jobs during the day, tiny apartments, roommates who never replaced the groceries they finished. Eventually I got into medical sales. Real money, first time in my life. And last year, I bought my dream house, Craftsman home outside Denver. Hardwood floors, wraparound porch, maple trees in the yard. I sat alone on the empty floor eating takeout the day I got the keys, and just thought, I actually did this. No family money, no gifts, mine. That feeling lasted exactly 2 months, because then I made my first mistake. I invited my family over for dinner. The second Derek walked in, something felt off. He was scanning everything, making little comments. My mom was running her hands over the countertops like she was inspecting them. My dad was asking about property taxes and resale value. I noticed it. I ignored it. Then my dad put his fork down mid-dinner and said, completely calm, have you thought about keeping this house in the family long-term? I actually laughed, genuinely thought it was a joke. Nobody else laughed. My stomach dropped. My mom jumped in first. You're single. Derek has responsibilities. The house should go to the firstborn. I looked at Derek. He shrugged and said, it just makes sense. That shrug. No embarrassment. No hesitation. Like he'd been waiting his whole life for this conversation. I set my wine glass down, looked at all three of them. Nah, I said calmly. I'm good off that. Dead silence. But if I thought it ended there, I had no idea what was coming next. The guilt trip started that same night. Mom about family unity. Texts from relatives about tradition. Voicemails from my dad about legacy and selfishness. I was almost starting to feel bad. And then my realtor called. Uncomfortable. Confused. Derek had contacted her directly, asking questions about ownership transfers and family property laws. He was already making moves on my house behind my back. That morning, I hired an attorney, locked everything down, moved the property into a trust. Nobody could touch it without my direct approval. I thought that was the end of it. It wasn't. 2 months later, Labor Day cookout. Entire extended family. My dad started performing loudly for the crowd about selfishness and family duty. My aunt looked straight at me and asked why I wouldn't just help my brother if I clearly had the money. I didn't say a word. I reached into my bag, pulled out a folder, slid it quietly across the table. Inside, screenshots of Derek contacting my realtor. Private messages between my parents discussing how I'd eventually give in. The entire table went silent. Derek's face went pale. My dad just stared at the papers. I picked up my keys, stood up. Now everybody knows why the answer was no, and I walked out. Last weekend, I sat on my front porch with coffee, looking at the roses I planted near the steps. My house, my porch, my roses, and absolutely nobody else's.